Please remember to download both the BarnBurner and Zingo TV apps in their respective app stores on iOS and Android devices. While you download, make sure you rate and leave a comment. Both apps are free. Zingo TV also available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, and Fire TV sticks, Roku, and Roku sticks on all smart TVs 2016 forward. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we aren't too far away from the National Football League getting going. I mean, here we are at the end of August, and this Thursday will mark 2 weeks before the NFL kicks off with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Houston Texans. The defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs, still a 10-point favorite in the football game with a total set at 54.5. But before we get to all the games in week number 1, we'll, of course, go over all the news right now in the National Football League. Last week, some big news out of Baltimore. Earl Thomas had a dispute on the field with another player. Thomas was sent home and released by the Baltimore Ravens. Certainly a big shocker. I mean, the Ravens had given Earl Thomas a lot of money after he left Seattle, got hurt in Seattle, ended up signing that big deal in Baltimore, and he's now done. Right now, looking for another team. Now, Thomas has wanted to play for the Dallas Cowboys. He a couple times, remember when he was with Seattle, told Jerry Jones and Jason Garrett to come get him. They've had 2 chances now, the Cowboys, to sign Earl Thomas, and they've decided not to do it. So right now, Thomas still waiting for another team. Mike McCarthy, the new coach, has dismissed the reports of the interest, and he says that right now they're happy with their safety corps that they have, and they're happy with Darian Thompson right now, who's the safety in Big D. So right now we're still waiting on what's going to happen with Earl Thomas. So a bit of a obviously surprise. A player of Earl Thomas's talent is still looking for a job this late in the year, but right now it's not looking like he's going to go to where he's always wanted to go, which is the Dallas Cowboys. So, obviously that was a big shocker about, the Thomas thing. Obviously, from a leadership standpoint, there seemed to be some issues in Baltimore where they didn't want him around after what happened. And, it is what it is. A team's going to get a very good player, but obviously, there seems to be some issues attitude-wise. It'll have to be fixed on the part of Thomas to fit in with a new team. A big signing today, the Arizona Cardinals making Budda Baker the highest paid safety in the National Football League. 4 years, $59 million extension, $33.1 million guaranteed. So that is right now seeing, safety's getting paid. Earl Thomas is waiting to get paid. Well, Baker just got paid in Arizona. Obviously, Arizona right now, they are, the focus with them is their offense, a very high-profile, high-powered offense led by second-year quarterback Kyler Murray and the new addition of DeAndre Hopkins. But from a defensive standpoint, Baker made the NFL's top 100 players last year at 97. So the former second-round pick is getting paid by the Arizona Cardinals. Weirdly, I guess, he hasn't had an interception in 3 years, but obviously he does a lot of different things, as he was a Pro Bowl and first-team All-Pro last year as a rookie. Don't forget, of course, they also drafted Isaiah Simmons, who we saw at Clemson, played, in the secondary, played linebacker, very, very versatile defensive player. So Arizona seems to be on the up when it comes to talent. And they're certainly on a lot of people's radar this year to be a team that could contend for a wild card spot. Most experts certainly still have the San Francisco 49ers being the best team in that division, but it's a very good division now, right? With Arizona up and coming, Seattle looks to be improved. They've made some big-time additions, and the Rams, the one team that sort of appears to be on the decline. Fans, we do know that there will be some games with fans in the stands now. I'm a little surprised by that based on what we're seeing. We haven't seen fans at any pro sports, but right now, teams are saying that they're ready to go with limited fans. The Miami Dolphins are on board for that. The Minnesota Vikings have been told they can't host fans in September, but they're certainly hoping to do so after that. As the Vikings announced that their first two games will be without fans, but they're definitely hoping that they'll be able to have fans in October. They've had discussions with the current Minnesota Department of Health guidelines as far as their stadium to have a limited number come after September. So we'll see if that goes down. But we do know that in September there will not be fans at US Bank Stadium in Minnesota, as is the case with most teams. Taking a look at what's going on in throughout training camps. Obviously, as I mentioned, we're just a couple weeks away, and we're not going to get any preseason games. We're not going to get a chance to really see anything from a preseason perspective. Right now, I talked about Thomas's release in Baltimore. The Ravens and Thomas still having a legal issue as far as getting back some of the guaranteed money that Thomas got. So we'll see how that plays out. But looking at the training camps, at Raiders camp right now, being told that rookies Brian Edwards and Henry Ruggs III are looking good, and we'll see how that affects John Gruden's offense. Obviously, when they do focus on the passing game, and the Raiders probably a run first team with Jacobs had just a tremendous year last year. So we'll see how the new look Raiders offense looks in Las Vegas. Cam Newton appears to be the front runner to win the New England job. Not a surprise, obviously, but Jared Stidham is dealing with a hip injury. So the workload for Newton has increased at Foxborough, and they seem to be happy with what they're seeing out of Cam. Cam, of course, has had the shoulder issue and the knee issue over the last few years that has really not allowed him to play. Last year, just played 2 games for Carolina before being shut down. The 49ers seem very happy with Trent Williams. Of course, they traded for him in the offseason. And according to reports, Williams has actually been giving Nick Bosa fits in practice, which is good. If you're able to compete with Nick Bosa, who was the reigning defensive rookie of the year last year, that is a very good thing for the 49ers. The Cowboys took a big risk after signing Aldon Smith. Hasn't played in a few years, 4 seasons to be exact. But the former top 10 pick, according to what's going on in Dallas camp, seems to be ready to go. So Dallas very low risk signing, right? Aldon Smith, you got him for nothing. If you can get him back to where he was when he was a top player in the league, that's huge for the Dallas Cowboys. Jameis Winston, obviously the Saints signing him to back up Drew Brees, but his decision-making has reportedly been erratic. Not a surprise. He led the league in interceptions last year with Tampa Bay with 30. The Bucs who took a shot, or the Saints who took a shot with Winston, hoping maybe he could be the successor when Drew Brees retires right now. He has a lot of work to do. And Chargers dealing with some wide receiver issues. Mike Williams now week to week with a shoulder sprain. His status for week 1 is uncertain. The Chargers haven't made it official, to my knowledge, who they're going to go with the quarterback week 1. Will it be the rookie Herbert, or will it be Tyrod Taylor, who they signed a couple years ago to back up Phillip Rivers last year? The Buffalo Bills took a risk with the Josh Norman signing. He's been dealing with some injuries, though, as Norman obviously wasn't very good last year in Washington, and now he's suffering from a hamstring injury. According to Sean McDermott, he's going to be out some time. So not great news for the Buffalo Bills that Josh Norman hasn't been able to be healthy and be a part of what's going on with their defense. AJ Green missed all of last year. They're hoping the 32-year-old can come back in Cincinnati and be healthy and be a big part of what's going on there with Joe Burrow. But right now he's dealing with a hamstring injury. So he's not healthy. That's definitely not the news that the Cincinnati Bengals were hoping for. Marcus Mariota, who signed with the Raiders to back up Derek Carr, is not having a very good week in practice, according to the reports. Looks like Mariota has not looked very comfortable. And, of course, Mariota lost his job last year to Ryan Tannehill while in Tennessee. Things seem to be going well with Jordan Love in Packers training camp as he continues to work with Aaron Rodgers. And Love's saying, I've learned a lot from the Packers QB room. So we'll see if the Love-Rodgers relationship can be better than what the Rodgers-Favre relationship was back in the day. New look Rams backfield with obviously Todd Gurley now in Atlanta. Darrell Henderson is hoping to be a big part of that, but he's dealing with a hamstring injury right now. So they got Malcolm Brown and rookie Cam Akers right now as the two guys getting the reps at running back for the Rams. Obviously, I don't think that it's going to be a great year for the Rams this year. I just, in a tough division, they're the one team that just doesn't appear to have really made any improvements. They've been dealing with salary cap issues, obviously, the contract to Jared Goff and Aaron Donald have really handcuffed them. Now they got to pay Jalen Ramsey. They already had to release Clay Matthews and Todd Gurley. So they're just dealing with trying to fit everyone under a cap. And it's not easy when you have guys with just monster contracts. I mean, from a different perspective, that's what the Leafs deal with in the NHL, right? Where you have 4 guys making $40 million, and you got the rest of the cap to field the rest of the team. The Rams are sort of the NFL version of that, where you paid a couple huge contracts and then you just struggle to get everyone else under what you need to. It's going to be interesting to see how things progress at Tampa Bay Bucks camp. Obviously, with the addition of Rob Gronkowski, that everyone's wondering how that will make O.J. Howard's status. Right now, O.J. Howard, according to reports, is doing very well at camp. And he's the one that's making the highlight reel catches. Of course, it's hard without these preseason games. We just got to go based on what we're seeing from reports. But he, Howard hasn't been able to live up to the billing, right? He was a stud at Alabama, and over 3 years in the NFL, just 1,400 56 yards and 12 touchdowns in the 3 seasons. So that's why the Bucs went out and got Gronk to help play with Brady, but Howard's still there, and the Bucs are expected to run a lot of one running back, 2 tight end sets with a combination of Howard, Gronk, and Cameron Brate as well in the red zone. Definitely going to be an interesting offense when you got those 2,000-yard receivers already there, and Evans and Godwin. The one thing you think about with Tampa Bay is, will there be enough footballs for everyone to be happy? Tom Brady, that's probably going to be his biggest obstacle, is to make sure that he keeps everybody on the offense happy, because there's a lot of guys that want to get fed in that offense, and Tampa Bay. Plethora of riches when it comes to guys that can catch the ball and make plays. So that seems to be all the news from around the National Football League. Definitely a lot going on. The Eagles in conversations to get Zach Ertz a new contract. We've seen over the last few weeks just some monster contracts being given out to the elite tight ends in the National Football League. Obviously, George Kittle and Travis Kelce cashing in. And Ertz has had a really good 7 years there, and hopes to obviously get, he's not going to get similar money to what Kittle and Kelce got, but he's looking for the next tier below. And that appears to be all the news from around training camps. Now, there was a story about some false positive COVID-19 tests forcing players to miss some time. There was a lab that the NFL has been looking into that might be given some tests that are not conclusive. Over the weekend, there was a rash of false positives due to testing errors. And we just don't, obviously, Roger Goodell and NFL fans certainly don't want this to be an issue when the season's up and running, right? The worst possible thing that can happen is that, you know, a player gets a test that's wrong and is forced to miss a game, and really there's nothing wrong with him, and he has not tested positive. But these are issues that, this is the world we're living in right now. And certainly that is not good for the National Football League, that this is something they have to worry about. All right, let's we only got a few minutes left. Time is flying by as we just go through everything happening right now, but we are getting close to week number 1 in the NFL. Obviously, it's exciting, and I want to give the up-to-date lines. Of course, once the NFL season gets going, I'm going to have a pregame show for you right here on the BarnBurner Radio and TV Network, and we'll go through the games every week, lines and player props, everything like that. It'll be a full preview show on Sunday mornings, getting you set for kickoff. Right now, the current lines as they stand for September the 10th, opening day, remains Chiefs -10, 54.5 is the total. Dolphins, Patriots, that line has come down. It was sitting as high as 7.5. It's now down to Patriots -6, total 43.5. Browns, Ravens, the Ravens remain an 8-point favorite in that game, total 48.5. It was up as high as 40. Or is up as high as 8.5, but it's come down a little bit. Money coming in on Cleveland. The Buffalo Bills still a 6-point favorite against the New York Jets. The Raiders have been bet up to 2 on the road against Carolina. Seahawks remain a 1.5-point underdog against the Atlanta Falcons. The Philadelphia Eagles, a 6.5-point favorite on the road against the Redskins. The Detroit Lions remain a 1.5-point favorite against the Chicago Bears. Indianapolis, a touchdown favorite on the road against Jacksonville. The Vikings remain a 3-point home favorite against the Green Bay Packers. Bengals getting 3.5 at home against the Chargers. Some big debuts there. Joe Burrow's debut, and we'll see what the Chargers do at quarterback, if it's Herbert or Tyrod Taylor. 49ers still a touchdown favorite at home against the Arizona Cardinals, total 46.5. Saints have been bet down now to 3.5. That line was at 6, then went 4, now 3.5 as they play the marquee game against Tampa Bay. The Cowboys, 2.5-point favorites on the road against the Rams. Rams opening up their new stadium. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, 3.5-point road favorites against the New York Giants. That game on Monday night, as well as Tennessee and Denver, with the Denver Broncos being a 2-point favorite in that football game, the total sitting at 42. So, yeah, we're getting close. We are getting real close. Certainly very exciting that football's on the way back. It's certainly a different offseason without the preseason games and really without the coverage that we're used to seeing in the National Football League. But obviously 2020 is a very different time, and that is the way it goes. That is nothing you can do about that. Just sort of enjoy what you get and move on. I mean, I'll take a quick look right now at the division odds. We haven't gone through that in a little bit. So before we go, we'll see if anything's really changed with the divisions. Right now, the Buffalo Bills remain the favorite in the AFC East at plus 130. New England a close second at plus 110. Jets and Dolphins, huge long shots, obviously. The Baltimore Ravens, 2-1 favorite to win the AFC North. Pittsburgh at plus 325. Cleveland at plus 500. The Chiefs, they are the biggest favorite to win a division right now. 5-1, the Chiefs to win the AFC West. The Dallas Cowboys, even money in the NFC East with Philadelphia plus 130. New Orleans Saints, the favorite in the NFC South at minus 125. Buccaneers at plus 130. The 49ers, even money to win the NFC West. Seahawks plus 225. Rams 5-1. Cardinals 6-1. And the favorite, obviously, from a betting perspective, to reach in the Super Bowl is the 49ers and the Chiefs at 16-1. You can get those two teams to meet in the Super Bowl. They are both the two favorites. The MVP favorite still Patrick Mahomes at 5-1, followed by Lamar Jackson at 6-1. Those are the two players that have won the award the last 2 years. Got a busy day here on the BarnBurner Radio Network. NHL Lowdown is next with yours truly, followed by Blue Jays Strike Zone. Fadeaway, then NWHL Cool Down. We got Six and Sticks, the Puck Hockey Show. My buddy Eduardo with Spanish Sports World, Spanish NBA edition. Got some lavish sports wrap-up. We the Norm. Ballin' with Drew Ebanks, the Tilly and Billy Show, the Sports Wrap with Elizabeth. Soccer down here. Those are all the shows coming up for you, so don't go anywhere. We got plenty of programming. Of course, the NFL Blitz can be heard on the BarnBurner Radio Network on its 122 platforms. Please check out barnburner.ca for all the news. BarnBurner, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and live it. Don't go anywhere, as I said, because coming up next, it is the NHL Lowdown with a big trade. That's next, right here.